On the 29th of May 2011, a tragic event occurred in Palmerston North. A young male was thought to have murdered his girlfriend by hitting her in the head with a cooking pot and then fleeing the scene. Once he was pursued, he tripped and knocked his head on the curb, instantly dying as well. After first look, was thought to be a simple enough case to solve. The case was shut and pushed to the back of everyone's minds, until further evidence was discovered. Video camera footage was found, which cleared the name of the accused, Jake Elroy, and further increased the tragic nature of what happened. This documentary will cover the events that happened and attempt to mend the attitudes against the now innocent Jake Elroy.
It was pretty bad before the footage had been found. Just at work with the boys at school, and Mark, it's my husband, he faced some stuff at work with people who knew Tessa's family, and they wanted someone to blame, and I guess Jake was, it was so neat. We didn't talk to them. What do you say to another family who's lost one of their children? We lost Jake as well, but everyone thought it was Jake. People, it was just too neat. No one wanted, people always want a scapegoat, and our family kind of tended to fit that bill. They were staying at Tessa's sister's new flat. They just moved in. She'd just finished school, and so they went there for dinner, and Jake hadn't seen him the day before, and so he just I woke him up and pulled his curtains and freaked out, and told him to clean up his room, which is always in a pigsty, and he went off to school.
Got the call, it was about 8:30. It was a strange one because we had to send out two different groups. Obviously, we had to send out someone to find him. He had disappeared, and we had to send a group to the house as well. And when they got there, it was really standard from our perspective. Anyway, I was the first one to arrive at the house, and it just seemed so straightforward. The deceased is on the ground, she's fallen over, she's got hurt. He's obviously done it, blunt force trauma, there's a pot, we get the fingerprinting in. They analyze that. His fingerprints are on that pot, which means after it was washed, he has picked it up, he has touched it. But the one thing that was in all of our minds was, why did he do it? They seemed such a happy couple from what we hear from everybody. He seemed like such a normal person. And there's just no reason for that attack to happen. We wanted to get to know him better. Obviously, we only knew what the sister had told us. The gist we got from his family was he was just an all-around good guy. He was hardworking, and they were just distraught. They couldn't understand why he had done something like that. With this sort of case, because the police was involved with his death, there's always going to be media involved. They're just like flies. But it started off, the media decided the best way to actually get it to the public eye was saying that the police shot him as he ran away, which isn't the case at all, and that's in all of the reports. So we released the truth, and we told everyone what actually happened, and we released that. We said, listen, this is what happened. He ran away, he's tripped, he's hurt himself, and for them to hear that, it didn't really sound realistic, but it was, that's what happened.
I did get questioned being one of his close friends. I got quite frustrated straight away because they're asking the same thing over and over again, and just the kind of questions are really probing into everything really personal with us. But yeah, it was quite tough at first. He's never really been an aggressive guy towards anyone, like especially Tess. We've been mates for a long time, and so it doesn't really seem like the kind of thing that he'd be doing. Like, he never talked about it or anything, so I don't think so. But yeah, I did have to defend him quite a lot because there were the groups of basically divide between he did it, he didn't do it, and stuff like that. Well, obviously I miss him quite a lot because it has been really tough, and especially when you think he did it and then didn't do it. There's a lot of mixed emotions in the past couple of months. But now to find this out, I wish that he hadn't have, everything had turned out the way it had, but there's not much we can do now.
I only knew him for a little while after they, started. I mean, they were together for like, 2 or 3 years. It was quite intense, but I didn't actually meet him until like they'd been going out for quite a while, so that was a bit funny. I never really got to know him that well. Yeah, I guess my sister said it was love at first sight, and I just thought as her older sister, I didn't, she was just too young, I guess. I couldn't conceive of anyone doing that to her. She's just too sweet. Like, she's just way too nice for anyone to want to do that to. And so when he ran away and they said it was him, I hated him, and so it's kind of hard to get over, and like the initial blame, I guess, that you place on him. We'd just finished dinner and I heard that all this commotion and they were fighting or something. And I went into the room and he was standing over her with a frying pan, and I freaked out because I was worried that he was going to chase after me or something because he looked crazy. So I backed out the door and pretended I hadn't noticed anything. And I ran down to my friend Lily's house, who lives down the road. She's there actually. And I just screamed at her to call the police, and she called the cops. And I didn't go back. And I feel really bad about that because I feel like I could have helped her or something. And then the police came up, pulled up, and I saw him run off. And so we all assumed he was guilty. Yeah, I'd been staying at my friend Lily's after Tess had, after that night, and I couldn't face going back. So I found a tenant for it in a couple of months after that, and so when I was moving out, and I got the rental people to come back in and pick up the fridge, and they gave me a camera which they found wedged between the wall and the fridge. So I vaguely remember Jake having it that night, so I picked it up and had a look at it, and that was when I realised that he was innocent, and I had to turn over to the police. I just felt so guilty for blaming him.
So this is the house in question, where it all went down. Just come on in, I'll show you the basis of the crime scene anyway. It's quite an open sort of area, so what she saw when she came out, it was really obvious and instant assumptions were made. He came in from the lounge, just messing around with his new camera, filming around the house, that sort of thing. Just playing with it, finding out what you do with new gadgets. And that's really what solved the case after about a year, was that his camera that he had bought. He was in here, she was over here, cleaning the dishes. He came in and was filming her, kind of annoying her and that sort of thing. She drops a pot full of water that was from washing. The water sort of goes everywhere. She slips on it, hits her head on the pot, and that basically kills her. It was blunt force trauma to the head. What it looks like when the sister hears the loud noise, the pot dropping, the head and everything hitting it, she comes out, she sees the boyfriend who's picking up the pot, to move it away from his girlfriend. And what that looks like is basically he has hit her in the head. She then comes down to see what's going on. He, with still camera in hand, gets rid of it. He throws it away. Basically, I would say he just dropped it out of fear. He runs out the door and out down the street. He basically didn't get very far. She rings the police. Murdered police come very fast too. He is found wandering the streets, obviously extremely shocked, not sure what he should be doing, and the police start chasing him. Sad sort of Romeo-Juliet love story almost. He trips trying to cross the road, smacks his head into the curb, basically blunt force trauma to his head as well. He dies. And so for a case like this, we're obviously with one eyewitness that's actually alive and the two deceased, we can only believe what we're told and from what we see. And from what we saw that day from when I arrived, is he had done it. She said he had done it, and it was just a simple open-close case, which later on proved wrong.
Well, when we got to the crime scene, you know, obviously Glenn and his team had been through and made assumptions, so we had to come through and gather any evidence to back that. There was a pot lying next to the deceased Tess Stevens, fingerprints, you know, of her boyfriend, and her head had hemorrhaged. It looked like a murder scene. When somebody runs from something like that, you automatically assume that you know, they've done something wrong. Because if they'd done nothing wrong, why would they run, sort of thing. So we certainly came to the conclusion that she'd been beaten by a boyfriend. I mean, certainly, you know, now we look at it as just an accident.
She came to us, I think it was 8 months, something like that afterwards, and showed us this camera. And we just said, okay, well, that's, you know, that's yours. And she said, no, it's not mine, it's his. We found something that no one saw coming. We found the video of her slipping over and not getting hit, which proved it innocent. And that was, for an officer like myself, like, it's usually my job to find the truth, and I didn't. So it was a lot harder to admit that, even to the families, to myself, and to my superiors. It was really hard. Once, when we found the camera, we sat down with all of them, everyone involved, the friends and the families, and we told them what actually happened. And for his family, it was a huge relief, because he was innocent. But I think at the same time, it was just horrible that the way he died as well.
It just made me really sad because we just bought it for him for Christmas. So it just reminded me of him, and I guess I didn't realise it would just, it was more the fact that it belonged to him, and I hoped it might have, you know, some last video of him on it. I didn't think it would be that, yeah, have that much of an effect.
Cool.
Hey.
Hi.
Doing the dishes. Just testing it out. See? Now look. It's right up. No, do it. It's
Away.
it's right on your face. See? Alright.
Being set up like that, and with someone seeing you standing there like that, I guess he didn't think he had shot, and his just seeing his girlfriend die. Yes. Ran.
The now innocent Jake and his girlfriend Tess are both tragically mourned as the truth finally came to light. The police took the evidence under advisement and corrected the charges and put their families' minds to rest. Jake and Tess were just two innocent teenagers in love, but were struck down by a stroke of complete tragedy, affecting more people than they could know. Now they rest together, side by side, their families at peace, and the truth finally revealed.
Back to the ladies. That's
doing
hasn't been clean since the last time.
because a lot.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand